Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Chemistry IGCSE. Today we have a complete paper 2, specimen 2023. We start with question 1. Question 1 is cooling curve. You know that we have heating curve in the syllabus, and in new syllabus, a point called cooling curve has been added. On that cooling curve, we have many sections. We analyze each section in detail. Section A is gas only. Section B is gas plus liquid. Section C is liquid only. Section D is liquid plus solid. I think you can guess that we assume that we have here section E that to be solid only. So question is saying at which point is substance a solid? Of course, at D and E, but we don't have option E, of course, so we go for D. Question 2. We have two gases in our service, of course, which have direct effect on litmus paper. Ammonia is a basic, you can say that this is a basic gas because it can change red into blue, red litmus into blue, and chlorine can bleach, can remove the color of the litmus paper. Carbon dioxide and hydrogen, both of them, neither of them has any effect on litmus paper. So the question is a combined question. Firstly, effect, and secondly, which one will go faster or which one will change most quickly? Most quickly, of course, we go for the lower MR. The lower MR, if you compare ammonia and chlorine, of course, ammonia will win. Question 3. Sodium chloride, NaCl. Sodium chloride is ionic compound. Remember that, please note that in chemistry, if you see the word molecule, that means covalent. So we have molecule. So this is wrong because NaCl is an ionic compound. So anything like molecule, molecular, please remove it. Something else, if you see the word sharing of electrons, that means covalent as well. So sharing of electrons is wrong as well. So we end up with B or D. Remember that ionic compounds form or have lattice structure. So they form a strong force or a strong relationship. So we go for B as D is wrong as well. Question 4. By default, you can state that graphite is a lubricant. This is a fact in the service. It has nothing to do with anything else other than being a lubricant if you read the question carefully. Question 5. We need the statement which is wrong. We need a statement which is incorrect. That means we have three correct statements. We go for each one by one, and we just analyze it. Option A, they conduct electricity because they have electrons which can move. Of course, this is true. They consist of layers that can slide over each other. Of course, this is true. By the way, remember that we are searching for the not true, the wrong one. They have giant lattice of opposite charge. Wrong. This is wrong. This is our option. Why? Because we have only positive charge. We have only positive charge. Okay. By default, D to be correct. So we need C. Question 6. Here, if you just check the state symbols, aqueous, stay, solid, and so on. So state symbol here is not a question. The question here about balancing the equation. So let's go. We have two iron, and here we have one iron. It's wrong. We have two iron, and we have one iron. Again, wrong. We have two iron, and we have two iron. Correct. We have 6 sodium, and we have 3 times 2, 6 sodium. So please Stay with me. I can take you. Here we have 4 iron and 4 iron. Good. Here we have 6 sodium and 12 sodium. So this is wrong. Thank you. Option C is correct. So as you can see, some questions is asking you only to balance the equation. Question 7 is a definition. If you memorize, if you recall this definition of AR, you can easily go for the correct option. So to determine AR, we need the isotopes, the mass of isotopes, and we need the abundance or the average or the percentage of each isotope. So by definition, option C is correct. Question 8, we need a calculator. So just pause the video and give me half minute or even less to bring my calculator. I'm ready. I hope you are ready as well. Please bring your calculator and work with me. Before we start for any question like this, including volumes, including masses, including percentage concentrations, of course you need calculator. Bismillah. We start this question. Remember that we need to recall two equations which are very important. Number of moles is equal to mass over molar mass. That will be used here in this question. Here we have another equation about solutions, which is NCV. N, again, number of moles. C is concentration. And V is volume of solution in decimeter cube. Pause the video please for a second time and recall decimeter cube is equal to, back again, decimeter cube is equal to 1 liter, is equal to 1000 cubic centimeter, is equal to 1000 milliliters. Bismillah. We start question 8. We need to determine the molar mass of Na2CO3. So we have 2 Na, 2 Na times 23 plus carbon is 12 plus we have 3 oxygen, 3 times 16. Let me use my calculator. 2 times 23 plus 12 plus 3 times 16. This is equal to 106. So number of moles here is equal to mass of sodium chloride 26.5 divided by molar mass, which is 106. Let me use my calculator once again. Give me 1 second. So 26.5 divided by 106. This is 0.25 moles. So during this reaction, we use 0.25 moles of sodium carbonate to produce how many moles of carbon dioxide? 1 mole. We have one quantity here, and we have one quantity of carbon dioxide. So the number of moles here ratio same number of moles for carbon dioxide. So for carbon dioxide, we have released 0.25 moles. At room temperature and pressure, the volume of 1 mole of any gas is equal to 24 decimeter cube. But we have only 0.25 mole. Use your calculator to multiply 0.25 times 24. I think that gives 8. Question 9 is a bit lengthy, so please focus and use your calculator as well. Here we have a reaction, neutralization reaction between sodium hydroxide and sulfuric acid. Firstly, we need to determine the number of moles used by each one, then concentration, or the other way around. We go for the question will guide us. So here we have 25 cubic centimeter of 2 molar aqueous sodium chloride. So here we have 25 cubic centimeter, which is V, 2 molar, which is C. So we need to determine the number of moles of sodium chloride, NCV. Again, NCV, NCV, NCV. So number of moles equals to concentration, which is 2, multiplied by volume, which is 25. 25 cubic centimeter, but Mr. told me you have to use decimeter cube. Relax. Anything in cubic centimeter, divide by 1000 to be decimeter cube. So 25 divided by 1000. Again, no problem. Again, scratch, scratch. Remember that we have an equation which is NCV, 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 N number of moles, C concentration, and V is volume in decimeter cube. Remember that if you are given cubic centimeter volume, divide by 1000. So here, N number of moles of sodium hydroxide will be concentration, which is 2, given here. Multiplied by volume, which is 25 divided by 1000, as Mr. told me. Please give me 1 second, pause the video, do your calculation, do your homework, and I will do same. 2 times 25 divided by 1000. That gives number of moles here is 0.05 moles. So number of moles of NaOH is 0.05. For H2 NaOH, we need 1 H2SO4. So for each 0.05 divided by 2, we need 0.025 moles of H2SO4. Alhamdulillah, we have again NCV, NCV, again NCV, NCV, NCV. We need here C, concentration. So concentration equals to N over V. We just briefly calculated the number of moles of H2SO4 is 0.025 divided by volume. Volume is 50. Remember that Mr. told me whenever you have cubic centimeter, divide by 1000. Mathematically, if you divide this by 1000, that means you multiply the equation by 1000. Ask any math teacher for this. So we multiply this 0. Do your homework, please. Pause the video and do your homework. 0.025 multiplied by 1000, then divided by 50, that gives 0.50. So A is the option. Alhamdulillah. Question 10. Please go back for my YouTube channel to find a complete explanation of electrolysis. The first point in electrolysis is electrons diffuse towards the cathode. So electrons diffuse towards the cathode. How to know the cathode, mister? By two methods, either being written or by the negative point or negative end. So electrons movement is direction 3. So electrons is direction 3. What about copper ions? Copper ions are plus ions. They are attracted to the opposite charge or opposite end. They are plus, they will be attracted to the negative end, to the cathode. So copper ions movement will be direction 2. Intersection between 2 and 3 to give you option C. Question 11. Hydrogen, oxygen, fuel cell. The overall equation is 2H2 plus O2 to give H2O. H2 plus O2 to give water. Can you see anything about carbon dioxide? We can't. Can you see anything about nitrogen? Again, we can't. So here, the intersection between the two possible answers will be D. Why? As water is the only product we have. Okay? And of course, this is a main advantage of you using hydrogen fuel cell. Question 12. Remember that if you have this shape reactance, then products up, going up, these are endothermic graphs. Again, go back for my YouTube channel for energetics. I have uploaded, I think, two or three videos about energetics. If a graph is going down, that means exothermic. Why graph here is going up, graph here is going down? Go back for my channel to figure out why. Activation energy. Activation energy is the level between the reactants and the peak. Mhm. Between the reactants and the peak. Here, activation energy between the reactants and the products. This is mistake. Why? Because this gap is over all energy change. So I've done it. Endothermic, so C, D are wrong. Why? Because they are exothermic. So here, either A or B. Of course, we cancel B to go for option A. Physical change. Physical change, we have no chemical reaction. If you add sodium to water, sodium hydroxide and hydrogen will form. So this is a chemical change. So 3 is cancelled out. So 3 is cancelled out. So 1 is must. Huh? By the way, for sciences, chemistry, physics, bio, we have to go for elimination. What is meant by elimination? We cancel out wrong options to figure out the correct one. Okay? So 3 is out. 1 is must. So either 2 or 4. Boiling water to be steam or burning hydrogen. If you burn hydrogen, that gives a new compound, water. So this is chemical. So we need physical change, which is number 4. Chemical reactions. Here, which change will cause reaction to be slow? Of course, if you dilute the acid. How can we dilute the acid? How can we make the acid more dilute? If you add more water to the flask, that means concentration of HCl will decrease. If you read other options, B, C, and D, all of them to increase the rate. We finished question 15, then we take a break, then we'll be back for the rest of the questions. Question 15. This question is very repeated. If you increase concentration, if you increase temperature, if you increase concentration, there are more chances of collision. But if you increase temperature, there are more chances of collision and more collision with sufficient energy. Again, concentration gives you more collision only more collision. But temperature, more collision and more collision with sufficient energy. Okay, we take break and be back for question 16. Equilibrium. Question 16, equilibrium. I wrote 3:1. Pause the video and tell me what does 3 tell and what does 1 tell. Back. 3 is how many moles are there on the left hand side, and 1 how many moles are there on the right hand side. So we have more reactants, more moles, I mean, than products, or we have 3 moles on the left hand side and we have 1 mole on the right hand side. Based on the question is saying that the reaction is exothermic. Let me write a clue for you. Exothermic. If you have exothermic reaction, the exothermic reaction is heat releasing reaction. So please don't give it heat. Why? Because it can generate its own heat. That's why for exothermic, if you add heat, reaction goes back. Reaction goes back. And if you reduce heat, less heat, reaction will go on. Reaction will favor the forward direction. Here in this reaction, we have exothermic. Which conditions will give highest equilibrium of methanol? This is our methanol. So we need to shift to the right hand side. We have 3:1. If you press, if you exert pressure, the system will oppose you. If you give the system more pressure, the system will cancel out your effect by reducing the number of moles. So in this case, you apply more pressure, the system will go forward. Why? To cancel out your effect. Again, for equilibrium, we need to cancel out any effect. If I am a reaction which is exothermic and you give me heat, I go back. Okay? If I have 3 moles on the reactants and you exert pressure, I will go forward. Why? To cancel out any change on the system. So pressure, we need high pressure, so A or C. Temperature, exothermic, we need forward. Please go here. We need forward. We need right hand side. So we need less heat. Please don't give heat, please. Why? Because it is an exothermic, so spontaneously can generate heat. So option C is correct. Question 17. What oxidation state? Remember that we use here Roman numbers. This is 1, this is 5, and x is 10. So 1, 5, and 10. Unbound or atoms or elements which are not bound to any other atom or element has oxidation state or have oxidation state of 0. So chlorine here is 0. What about other molecules or compounds? We have a fixed oxidation state for oxygen to be -2. So this oxygen is -2. What about hydrogen? Hydrogen is +1. And here we have overall neutral charge. HClO has no overall charge. So overall 0. So H is +1, O is -2, and we have to add something here to make these two 0. I think Cl here to be +1. So Cl and HClO must be +1. And Cl2, chlorine, is 0. 0, so D. Question 18. What indicator? We have many indicators in our syllabus. Inshallah, I'll make video, complete video for the indicators. Universal indicator. Remember, rainbow. 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 Do you remember rainbow colors? If you can recall rainbow colors. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and indigo violet. Green is neutral. Anything to the right hand side is basic. Anything to the left hand side is acidic. Acidic. Here, strong acid, weak acids. Here, weak bases and strong bases. As I have just briefly said, we will go in further details later on, inshallah. Here, we need which solutions are acidic. Acidic, so we need anything in this category to be either red or orange or yellow. So we need green is wrong, of course. So we need red and orange. So K and M is B. Question 19, we need least pH or lowest pH. To be low in pH, you must be an acid. So here we need an acid. How do you know? Because he said we need low pH. Ammonia solution is basic. Go back for question 2 in this video. Ethanoic acid, of course, acid. HCl is an acid. Lithium hydroxide is an alkali, basic. So D is out and A is out. We need low pH, so we need strongest acid. From your syllabus, HCl is stronger than ethanol. Last question we solve today is question 20. Then inshallah from 21 till 40 will be in video number 2 related to this group 2. Magnesium, calcium, strontium, and barium, they follow the same trend of group 1. Remember that in group 1, if you go down the group, the activity increases. So magnesium, yeah, if you just need to rearrange them, we have, of course, we have beryllium, then magnesium, then calcium, then strontium, then barium. So here, calcium reacts faster than magnesium with water. Remember that if you go down, the activity increases. So 1 is okay. Okay? 2, barium reacts less vigorously. This is wrong because barium here in this group is the strongest one here in these 4 elements or atoms. So 2 is out. So I need 1 without 2. So C is the option. Bye.